The conference is hosted by Vern Gambetta, world-renowned strength coach. And so my mind's spinning, so much information, heard a lot of great speakers today. I highly recommend the GAIN conference to any aspiring coach, athlete development coach, sport coach, it doesn't matter. There's a ton of good information here. I watched a couple presentations by Wade Gilbert, who's a professor of coach education at Fresno State University. The morning presentations or the practical sessions that were on the track. One was led by Bill Knowles from the Philadelphia Union, another led by Vern Gambetta and Dean Benton, who works with rugby team in Australia. Just great information. Many more speakers today and forthcoming. This evening, listen to Nick Hill, who's a rugby coach in Chile, talk about athlete-centered coaching and the success that he's had kind of transforming a high school and then a club rugby program in Chile. And, he had statistics to back up, all of the different things that he's done. So, how, the record and the injury rate and performance metrics from the team from the years before, kind of the decade before he took over to the last 2 or 3 years since he's taken over. And, it just really encapsulated, how successful he's been, and he attributed it to the athlete-centered approach that he takes, in terms of empowering players, which to me, when I think of empowering players, that's, allowing players some say in the rules of the team and, even to the extent of giving players some freedom to determine the drills that we do. So, one of the things that I cite, and Wade Gilbert talked about it today, is a lot of companies, especially Google, allow employees 20% time to work on outside projects. So essentially 1 day of work, or a couple hours each day, however they want to structure it. And so that's one of the things that I try to do with players. I don't have a defined 20%, but, give players some say in the drills that we do. So, at times in a practice, I might say, hey, all right, we've accomplished essentially what I want to accomplish at practice. We've got 20 or 30 more minutes maybe. What do you guys think we need to work on? What do you guys want to do? Should we play, a game of 3-on-3, 5-on-5? What are we going to do today? How do you think, or what do you think we need to do to get better? And so I think you can get a lot of buy-in from players and really help them, increase their motivation, increase their investment in the team, and ultimately increase their performance when you take that athlete-centered approach, which empowerment is just one aspect of that. But, I think it encompasses a lot of different things in terms of how you approach your athletes and the environment that you create, and really structuring it so that the athletes have a say, the athletes are, look at the coach and the athlete as one team and not kind of two separate entities, where a coach maybe is setting up rules and the players are then kind of under the coach and the coach is kind of power driven, but everybody's working together. And in some ways it's hard to explain the difference, but I think you can tell an athlete-centered coach when you watch or you see how the coach approaches things. It tends to be a lot of questioning of the players, not in a negative or trying to catch the player doing something wrong, but in a sense of, I want to see what you see. I want to understand what you're seeing at this point so that I can help facilitate your learning. I can help increase, or point you in the right direction. And I can only do that when I understand, what you're seeing or where the mistake is made. And if I'm just on the outside watching, I don't necessarily see what you see. So perfect example, I remember one of the first years I was coaching, tight game, end of game situation. I brought the team over, timeout, brought the team over. All right, what do you guys want to run? Okay, as opposed to me saying, okay, we're going to do X, Y, Z. What do you guys want to run? What are you most confident? What are you most comfortable? What are you guys seeing on the court? Since you guys are living it in the moment, I'm just kind of, observing from the sideline. I might not see everything that you guys are seeing. This was a veteran team, but I think you can do it at different levels. And I think having that kind of athlete-centered approach where everything is focused on the athlete first, and the coach is the supporting of the facilitator, as opposed to it being a coach-driven environment where everything is coach-based and rule-based, and a lot of dictating what happens, but giving the athlete some freedom, some opportunities to work through things, some trial and error. I think that can really facilitate the learning and ultimately improve performance.